Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to podcast season 2 for Projon. Today we have our very eminent guest and a mentor of mine, Professor Manas Ranjan Panigrahi sir, who's a vice chancellor and dean academics at Sangam University, Bhilwara, Rajasthan. I mean, to tell his experience is very little. I am just reading out with his empire of collections of experience. There were 2 decades of academic leadership. He has worked across India and internationally in various roles with IGNO, Kolsemka, Canada, Symbiosis University, University of Ethiopia and Africa. He's a PhD holder in education from Jamia Millia Islamia University. He has authored 15 plus books and more than 15 research articles. Wow, so published extensively in national and international reputed journals, and he has mentored over 70 plus postgraduate and PhD research scholars. MOOC accessed by 72,000 plus learners worldwide. Excellent, sir. I mean, I can't help myself to know all these things and contributed to education across 22 countries. Dr. Panigrahi, sir, blends innovations, research, and inclusive education. Is a policy development, making him a recognized voice in teacher education for open learning and educational quality assurance. Thank you so much, Panigrahi, sir. Welcome to the podcast season. Yeah, we are glad to have you here for the discussions.
Thank you very much, Ramesh, inviting me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. So today we are going to discuss about the theme is more into digital, educations and policies. I would like to have your experience because you have been a, a great pillar in this implementation as well. We'll talk about that. I have seen your course of work and your knowledge. Now, I have few questions from my audience to have it for you, so that people will learn more about those concepts about digital transformation. So, I would request your experience in this area. So, are you ready for the first question from the audience?
Yeah, sure. Please.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, the first question is very interesting one, sir, which comes as a digital first. How do you define digital transformation, which is a big word, in the context of higher education today? It's just about tech or more than that, as per you?
Thank you, Ramesh. It's a really very interesting question. This is actually, if I will say, from my little experience, what I learned and visited many institutions. From that perspective only, I'm just talking about here. For me, digital transformation in higher education today goes far beyond the mere adoption of technology. It represents a holistic, strategic, and cultural shift in how institutions teach, learn, research, and operate. While technology is a key enabler, true digital transformation is about remaining institutional processes, academic delivery, and learner engagement to meet the evolving expectations of students, educators, means teachers, and society at a large. For me, what I can just explain you a little bit uh, how I would define it in an academic leadership context. For me, what I'm thinking that student centric learning ecosystem is more important. In prioritizes personalized, flexible, inclusive learning enabled by data analytics. AI and adaptive platforms are playing vital role. The global is nowadays we are thinking that it's a vast, but the technology proved it's a very small where we can reach immediately and a frequency of seconds. Hence, the goal is to support diverse learners, not just digitize lectures. And another one I would like to take your attention here, curriculum and pedagogical innovations. all these, the delivery of the curriculum and pedagogical experiences is more important through competency based experiential as well as interdisciplinary learning. Digital tools like simulations, virtual labs, MOOCs in Indian context, Swayam, and so and so forth, which is really integrated meaningfully. Faculty empowerment and development. It's really, really cost for a day where faculty should bind with what particularly or professionally enlightened and move towards the collaborative digital pedagogies and promoting a mindset and paradigm shift from the content delivers to the learning facilitators. Because now context of teaching learning process is drastically changed. Now student-centric learning means learner-centric learning, where teachers and the what is called the educators, they need to play the role of as like facilitator to them. And more important aspects is the institutional agility as well as governance. At the same time, you can look into the aspects of the research collaboration and outreach. And of course, equity and access is the more important aspects. Why we can define and derivate about the digital learning is concerned. And hence, in essence, if I will say, digital transformation is a cultural evolution, a conscious institution-wide commitment to innovation, agility, and relevance in the digital age. It is not just about tools. It
True.
is about
Yes.
purposeful, ethical, and human-centered use of technology to enhance learning outcomes and institutional impact. These both are the very important aspects we will discuss in your further questions if it will come into across.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely. Yes, yes, sir. Yeah, I think the vision of yours is very strong at the moment. But what are the major bottlenecks, sir, you see during execution on the ground? Because this is a challenge and you must have also encountered. If you can give us some experience of yours.
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. I can tell you that despite a strong vision for digitization, world moving into that, this is now new normal actually, in particularly higher education.
Right.
Several education gaps persists. Key challenges include inadequate digital infrastructure, especially in rural and semi-urban areas, and limited digital skills. No doubt, you can argue with me in that other way. The mobile phone penetration is very high in India, and particularly our farmers and semi-literate and illiterate people are also there operating mobile phone with
Mobile
various
phones. Yes.
technical tools. But still, the moment we are talking about the learning and use technology for learning, it is more about that what is called resistance among faculty members and fragmented implementation without cohesive strategies and insufficient focus on learning outcomes. Just delivering a lecture in front of the camera, that is different, and delivering a lecture and demonstrating something in front of the camera, putting an eye contact with the learners, which learners are not in front of the teacher. So that is difference, which is more focused toward the learning outcomes. I believe that for digital transformation to be effective, it must go beyond technology adoption and focus on building institutional capacity and aligning pedagogy with technology and creating a student-centric learning ecosystem. That's more important, I believe, according to my experience is concerned.
Great insight, sir. I think, yeah, you must have said that which everybody was looking student centric curriculum and this. The next question is quite interesting. When you talked about student centric and all those, so you also been part of many renowned university. You have seen the culture. So, how are the university using AI in curriculum delivery, sir, nowadays for student service or any administrative process? If you encounter any real example with your experience so far?
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to just share with you with some example which is I come across with. And before that, I would like to just share with you, Indian universities and most of the universities in developing the countries and Commonwealth countries, basically, where I worked into and supporting these Commonwealth Asian countries, and they are increasingly leveraging AI and automation to enhance curriculum delivery and streamline administrative process as well and improve student services. They're trying to reach to the student without barrier in between, and student can think that they are reaching to the institution. In curriculum delivery, particularly AI powered adaptive learning platforms, such as many institutions nowadays into it, that Coursera and edX, and use machine learning, particularly algorithms, to personalize content based on learners' performance and performances. Now this AI is working backend of this kind of platform where learners learning analytics are coming in front of the teacher, and teacher can get the analysis what kind of personalized learning is required for the learners. And very good example, I can say that the virtual learning assistants like Georgia Tech's, that is the product of Jill Watson, and which is built on IBM Watson. It supports students by answering routine queries 24 by 7. Any moment, the student can ask question, and this platform will give you the answer systematically and effectively. AI tools also assist in regarding that in the grading as well as content generation and providing feedback to the learners, as well as reducing faculty workload and enhancing learners engagement. It's just not for the teaching learning, also it is also helping student services. For example, now there's many websites you can see that is talking websites. You need to want to read. If you want to read something, you can just put your cursor, you can able to listen what has been written there.
Right,
For
right,
example,
absolutely. Yeah.
chatbots are widely used for admissions, fee queries, exam schedules, as well as campus navigation. For
Wow.
example, Amity University, Amity
Yes.
University
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
all the
yes. Well
professional
known
universities,
university. Yeah.
both the universities are having that kind of, yeah. But again, I can say that predictive analytics tools help institutions identify at risk students and intervene early, improving and retention and success rates. So these are the things which is helping in the student support services. Similarly, administrative as well. Ramesh, administrative matter, there are many tools like Turnitin and Proctor U and Power BI. These are the dashboard are common across institutions. So I'm really happy to share with you this from my experiences where I connected with several institutions. And
Hmm.
it is, I can say that in essence, I can say that AI in higher education is not only improving efficiency, but also enabling personalized, data driven, and student centered ecosystems. This is I think it is a very interesting aspects in the future. So there are many things which is coming into mind, but there are few major things which is our own readiness that is more important. What kind of readiness? There are many things. Probably your questions may be encountered me to explain you further.
Yes, sir, absolutely. I think we shouldn't forget while we're talking about, and that's a great example of Amity University you have shared. I think I myself know it for the first time. Thank you for sharing that experience. While we're talking about student, how do you feel the faculty readiness, right? Like with your experience, are the faculty members digitally ready? What kind of resistance or fear you have seen that they commonly observed while you are trying to implement that? If you can share your thought.
You know very well, Sangam University. It's a university which is placed in semi-urban area and catering to this very patch of rural areas and rural area students. And of course, faculties we are also getting from the more faculties are from this terrain only. So faculty digital readiness, if I will say, varies widely across institutions. And in my institution, if I will say that many educators in they are very much reluctant and lack of confidence in them to use technology particularly. They know about the technology, they know use of technology, but sometimes they are reluctant to
Yes.
use technologies. They are not
Right.
comfortable with new digital pedagogies. They know how to run technology, but how to deliver a content without student and using technology deliver their lectures with certain pedagogy, andragogy, and so these are the few key concerns which I found in my university, particularly fear of redundancy due to AI tools and online content. And similarly, like a lack of training in using learning management system, though I recently started with my teachers in different forum providing training on at least Moodle learning management system. And as well as I am encouraging my colleagues to use virtual lab, which is government of India initiatives, and Amrita Vidya Veetham is the key aspects to dealing with the science and technology. So I am promoting that one. Teachers are somehow they are extending all these things using in the classroom, but again, still the reluctancy is there. And another
Right.
point, I will say that they are not accepting that its effectiveness, particularly online education's effectiveness. And there very much skepticism between online education as well as traditional classroom method. So this is really a point which I believe this is the thing which is the faculty readiness is in line, particularly semi-urban and rural. And similarly in other Commonwealth countries, I found particularly, if I will say, in Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and if I will compare with Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India with Malaysia and Singapore, I can find a huge gap between these countries, and they are far ahead with the using of technology in teaching learning, but we are still running and trying to move to achieve that level of use of technology what facilities we have already.
Excellent, sir. I think I like this idea of yours, pushing the colleagues to train them, and you have a plan. This is, I think, very few leaders think about their own workflow force to get, skilled and trained. One interesting aspect, sir, we talked about students, how they can get benefit. We talked about faculty, how they can upgrade themselves. But the adaptability, when we talk about the student adaptability, do the students in not in tier 1 but tier 2, tier 3 regions, do they embrace these digital tools you talked about, or are we assuming that it's too much of digital naive we are putting them across?
Absolutely, absolutely. I am thinking about to just tell you, and the moment we are talking about the faculty members, at the same time, also vice versa, we are looking into the students. And yes, in these tier two, tier three cities and the regions, you can say that students are comfortable with smartphones and social media and basic apps nowadays is coming, and doing reels. They often struggle with academic or professional digital platforms such as learning management systems, MOOCs, coding tools, or virtual labs. Many challenges. What are the challenges actually behind it? It's not like something alien. All students are fall into that category, but few students are quite getting this exposure during their school time while they are coming further their tertiary level as well as in higher education level. But still there is certain challenges, Ramesh. Limited access to high speed internet or personal devices. That is the kind of challenge. Devices are there, but it is at home and it is proctored by their parents, which is thinking is that my child will not spoil. So this is one challenge. And a digital literacy gap. As I said, using learning management system, we are exploring how to implement Moodle platform in our teaching learning process, that the same movement, we need to also train our students in this regard as well, how to use Moodle for their learning purposes. As well as MOOC, like I can say that Coursera, Udemy, edX, and Swayam as Indian MOOC, which is required to need to learn all these tools, and not just entertainment of other digital literacy is required, but yes, digital literacy particularly concentrating to the education purposes. And the big problem in my terrain, where this part of the world where I am sitting here, that is the language barrier. With many platforms available only in English, that is another big question mark
Right.
for the students they are struggling into. And this is the yeah, I can just tell you in two sentences to just sum up your this question, which you are really admire and your audience will be really admire. So truly empower these students, we must shift from assuming digital fluency to actively building digital capacity through localized content and offline access options and sustained support systems. I can tell you one story behind it, success story. When I
Yes.
was in Commonwealth of Learning, in that time, Commonwealth of Learning come out with a device called Aptus. That Aptus device is remotely connected with the various devices, mobile devices offline. You can say Bluetooth or something, but there is nothing. That devices certain radius of radius it will connect it, and device is holding lot of content, which content they can access by the students. So offline access also possible. And similarly, and NCRT come out with the app system where you can get access to the content, books and study materials and learning materials. You can get access offline as well if you will download this app to your mobile phone. There is system, but still we need to make it more vibrant and reaching to larger scale.
Rightly said, sir. I think this is a great example what you shared about the device. Now, my exact next question was on in line to that thought of yours, infrastructure challenge. I think what you have pointedly said a few times back is that the good internet connections or devices. So, what do you see that what are the core infrastructure gaps that hinder this transformation, particularly to rural or semi-urban campuses, according to you?
Absolutely. Thanks to my university and my senior management, they understand this situation and provided power backup and uninterrupted internet facility. But if I will look into when my students are in my campus, it is possible for them to get the access. But what about when they will be at home? They are only in my campus only for 6 to 8 hours. Rest of the time they are at in their respective place. No doubt, some of my hostelers and those who are residing in the campus, they are getting benefit 24 by 7. These are the many causes we have, which is hindering this thing. That is unreliable power supply in this terrain. Even if I can say in many
Mhm.
states in India as well as
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other developing countries, we are struggling for the uninterrupted power supply. And sometimes power will come and sometimes it will
Yes.
go, which is very so frequent power outage. That is and voltage fluctuation, and it disrupts online classes as well, which is live, which is called as synchronous way, and labs as well, and as well as server accesses. Because sometimes if it is frequency of fluctuation, if there is no automation, it is resuming back to that, it takes at least 1 to 2 minutes of time. And some highly technology also there, it takes 30 seconds. So, our rural institutions like my institutions, and especially if I will say another example, that is Bundelkhand area, struggles to run its computer labs due to inconsistent electricity, delaying digital assessments and classes. They have facilities, but they are struggling. Another one is internet connectivity, also similar way. No doubt we are telling that we are reaching to in that level, this level. Still, what extent we are achieving that? In many parts of Rajasthan, I am telling that slow internet leads to delays in uploading assignments and or attending the live session on Swayam. There are many, my students are enrolled into the Swayam program because as per the NEP 2020 and online regulation of UGC allows up to 40% you can earn credits through online courses. So, and that too, so my students are struggling through this. They are ready to do, but they are unable to get access and get support from this. And another one is lack of learning management system platforms, which is a best example. Like, I will tell you that a government colleges in Odisha uses basic Google Classroom without integration of assessments or analytics and limited its impact because the students are not reaching to that scaling this learning management systems. No doubt Google Classroom, it's not learning management system, but it's a content management system. However, getting access to
Yes.
these contents also, it is a big challenge for them. And in Noxality, if I will say, addressing these infrastructure gaps through targeted investment, public private partnerships, and policy
Right.
support is essential for meaningful digital transformation. That's why during my stay in Commonwealth Planning, we supported many states in India as well as other countries come up with their TEL policy, technology enabled learning policy. At the same time, we also come out with open educational resource policies which covers some of the aspects of this, which institutions can think to bridge this gap. This is the, I think.
Yes, very well said. I think rightly pointed out. Okay, Manas sir, that's a great idea what you have shared about about the infrastructure challenges. That's a great learning. I myself have those after listening to you. Second question, I mean, this next question of mine is really very interesting because the world is struggling at the moment understanding this model, which is called hybrid learning. Is hybrid learning working in your context, or does it still feel like a forced adjustment post pandemic? Because we have seen everybody is running through online and then they come up with a kind of a thing. So please share your experience about this hybrid learning model.
This is really very interesting question. This is completely mixed one, and you can say some extent forced. You can say some extent it is potential thoughts, and some extent you can say that yes, policy requirement. So kind of a mix one. In the NEP 2020 context, if I will talk, hybrid learning is gradually moving from being a forced adjustment post pandemic to becoming a strategic pillar of educational transformation. The policy envisions flexible, inclusive, and tech-enabled learning. And hybrid learning aligns well with this vision by offering continuity, choice, and personalization in education, particularly. However, I just let you know, in practice, especially in semi-urban and rural institutions like our institutions, hybrid learning still faces hurdles like infrastructure gaps, limited teacher training, and digital inequality. This is the big major aspects we need to think. While some progress has been made in Indian context, particularly, for example, initiation of the Swayam and Swayam Prabha, Diksha platform of Government of India, and other e-learning platforms. The integration of hybrid pedagogy with learning outcomes is still evolving. It's not in the particular course in that level of which we are thinking for. So that's why I can say that for hybrid learning is to fully succeed in the NEP 2020 framework, it must go beyond delivery to embrace blended pedagogies, assessment reforms, and capacity building of both teacher and learners. Recently, just I said the one way teachers are ready, but learners are
Right.
not ready.
True.
Learners need as equally training with the teachers. At the same time,
Yes.
the moment we are talking of the blended pedagogy and blended learning, it doesn't mean only synchronous and asynchronous learning and face to face, some aspects from synchronous and asynchronous through technology mediated. But blended pedagogy and blended learning is the blend of the in various subjects, blend of the teaching strategies, blend of learning methodologies, blend of learning style of the learners. You know, these are the more important aspects. Of course, I agree with you. In my experience, as well as some of the experience I am collecting from my colleagues and co-workers in different stages, last 10 years, 15 years, I have seen in India, it was the ICT mediated learning after pandemic, post pandemic. It is the things changed in a very fragile manner, but you know that is now new normal. Acceptance is required where people are not accepting. The myth was there some extent, and some people are thinking online delivery, online presentation, online sharing of the contents, it will encounter their ability and capability and capacity, and someone will challenge, which is sheer stage, you can say, among the teachers as well as at the same time with the learners.
Right.
So this is the example. Most of the universities, even if some of the leading universities, they are very good in the classroom, but they are very much reluctant while they are delivering any video content before their students or the larger audience. This is the very much constant. In that way, you can say that to some extent it is forced, and some extent it is also, you can say that they want to do, but again they are reluctant to sharing their contents and their experiences through this.
Experience. Very well said. Very well said, sir. I think that's a pain area also many time what we have felt. Now, here is one very interesting questions I have collected from the group, the audience. Faculty attraction and retention, which is very I think critical topic nowadays in university. With your experience, why is it difficult to attract or retain top tier faculty in non-metro cities? It's just about compensation or anything else you have encountered with your experience, sir?
No, not exactly compensation. Compensation, one of them. I always admire, because I am working here in this rural area after working with many countries, and I can give my example. I am sitting here. Even if other peoples, those who are, even if in this city, there are many people, those who worked in US and coming back and they are working in small area and they started their own startups and businesses. So, this is not at all a major aspects about the compensation. But yes, there are many, you know, very limited professional ecosystem. And again, their lifestyle preferences, the family, this is another cause,
Mhm.
and institutional reputation and infrastructure, which is also hindering in their work. Many institutions in smaller towns or the rural areas are still developing academic culture, facilities, and global visibility. Factors that matter to high caliber academicians, because they want to do something differently. If I will cause, that is perceived stagnation. So professionals may
Okay.
fear slower career progression or fewer leadership opportunities in the small institutions and the small organizations, and so and so forth accordingly. This beyond salary, it's about creating an enabling academic ecosystem, particularly career mobility and quality of life that matches aspirations. That is more. Those were mid-career people and the early career people and the high-tier professionals, they are unable to sustain this kind of institutions because of these causes. It is my completely my personal belief and through my experiences.
Yeah, rightly pointed, sir. I think I have captured one aspect of your answer. He's people are confused, people don't know what. Now, role of mentorship, which is a very vast topic. I think you must have heard. I myself also struggled some point of time. Now, how
Absolutely.
can mentoring programs, as for you with these metro institutes or global faculty, impact talent retention and growth, impact in tier 2 and tier 3? Role of mentorship. What is your view on that?
A great to think. Many institutions, particularly from these areas, they are connected with metro-based or global academic leaders, can significantly improve faculty retention, motivation, and professional growth. This is only possible if we will go for the high collaboration, partnership, and connected with the industry. So if I will say the only 2 3 points in this regard, very particularly exposure to global best practices. Another
Right.
one is research collaboration opportunities, which is not only in tier 2 and tier 3. If I will exclude only national importance institutions, IITs, IIMs, and very big central universities and national institutions, almost all institutions are struggling through this research collaboration opportunities. No doubt, in Government of India, ICSSR and DST and other institutions and other government institutions, they are trying to develop this thing. Similarly, guidance on curriculum development, writing, and pedagogy. This is more important aspects where they need to develop their capacities. Similarly, academic confidence and recognition. Give you an example in this regard. At Sangam University, particularly, I will let you know. When I joined Sangam University, even if our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Karunesh Saxena, through his vast experience, we structured mentoring program with international experts under a Commonwealth supported initiatives, enabled faculty members to develop MOOCs, publish jointly, etc. This not only enhanced academic output but also created a sense of inclusion in the global academic discourse. We have almost, almost 17 international collaborations, which all out of 17, 12 institutional collaboration we have. Some are in Middle East, some are in Asian countries, some is in European countries, and almost all these 12 out of 17 is live, and there are many projects is going on. And another one is it also leading to lower attrition and higher moral among faculty in a semi-urban setting like Bhilwara city. And such programs act as breezes, fostering academic excellence, professional network, and institutional credibility, which is done attract and retain quality talent in non-metro campuses. This is we started with that. For that purpose, research incentives system we started, as well as the patent incentive system we started, and many more, which is encouraging our teachers to develop their inclusivity in this global challenges. So this is the thing which is we are moving systematically as in a small city, but it is sometimes exceptional, not in many institutions. I believe if many institutions will look into this best practices, definitely we can reach to that level.
Very well said, sir. I think industry collaboration. So this is one topic which will never go away with academic, because they go both hand on hand. Now, what are some models of collaborations as per you with industry that you have found effective in both your faculty development or curriculum enhancement in this digital education or world of era? If you can answer that question.
Absolutely. Again, I will tell you, I am really fortunate enough working with Sangam University, and Sangam University is hosted by the Sangam Group of Industries. So, industry already in the university, and the university already mentoring
Right.
to industry. Industry academia collaboration is in inception of this organization. So we are getting a lot of support from the industry, as well as industry getting a lot of mentoring to their employees capacity building. So what are the main things we are practicing? And generally those institutions have industry collaboration, how they are also practicing. I just to let you know, you'll be very much happy to know that industry-led curriculum design. Our institution involving industry experts in curriculum development to ensure relevance with current skill demands and skill sets. This is one of the major aspects we use to make it involving the industry. Similarly, there are many things we are practicing, like faculty immersion programs, short-term faculty internship also, and also we are sending our faculty members to industry while our students are doing internship in different industries. So during that time, my faculty members, they are visiting to the industries to for the monitoring and evaluation purpose of our students, as well as they spend a few significant time over there during entire span of this internship program. Then they also learn about that industry, how it's functioning, what are the not only just Sangam group of industries, but also other industries, those who are we are collaborated with them, and they also connected with us to take our students as interns. Further, they also observing our students as their employee. So this is best success story for me. And joint research and consultancy projects, that also we are many consultancy projects we have. Asai Glass is just nearby. You know that Asai Glass. You probably know the industry, which is
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
with the glasses which is they are
Classes.
producing, that you used to use in various vehicles. And recently new plant they established here, just 15 kilometers away from this my university, having the consultancy from Asai Glass, providing different type of training to their employees, and particularly those who are newly recruited employees, with regard to safety measures, with regard to other activities, with regard to life skills, with regard to how to deal professionally in the institution. So all these we are providing through the various consultancies. Similarly, we have also connected with a few institutions, so which is industries. They sponsored us for our exclusive media lab, as well as exclusive for our AI lab. So we are getting the various AI tools in free of cost, and they are also helping us in this regard. Particularly, also they are also connected with us and helping in faculty training programs on particularly in the area of Python, Power BI, and Tableau. Similarly, in the curriculum revision and many more industry certification. Recently, we got an opportunity to get some support from Commonwealth of Learning and for Google certifications. There are many
This is interesting.
entrepreneur Google certification, more than 1,200 Google certifications. These students from management and computer science, they completed. So definitely faculty capability and student employability is improved due to these interventions. At the same time, it catering a sustainable model for faculty development and curriculum enhancement rooted in industry partnership. This is, I believe, that every institution nowadays new normal, while they need to be connected with industries according to their courses and contents what they are delivering before their students.
Professor, I think well thought. I mean, as you say that the university is well connected with industry, and no doubt in that. With these questions, I almost ended my audience interest. Learn about it. If I may ask you to summarize in few words, how do you see or vision the higher education transformation aligned to digital, journey? If you can do that, then I'll have very interesting rapid fire round for you, 5 questions.
Great. Ramesh, I will summarize in very concise way, and which will cover entire our discussion. And what I'm thinking into after 2 decades of my teaching, administration, and leadership roles, and particularly working in the position of last 10 years in thought leadership, and a future ready higher education system envisions inclusive, flexible, and tech integrated learning, technology enabled learning, which is bridging access gaps, fostering innovations, empowering faculty and teachers, and aligning with global standards to prepare learners for the dynamic 21st century world. Because 21st century world, the part of 21st century year I lived in and the rest of the 25th century worlds are running like anything and changing. That resilience is more important aspect for this, preparing learners for this 25th century, 21st century learner and 21st century dynamic learners in this world. So this is my part of conciseness, what I am thinking and visualizing in future with the government of India's 2035 vision, at the same time 2047 vision.
That's a great summary. And we are honored to listen a great leader like you, which who have already been implementing a lot of best practices. We has already been doing things on the ground. That's what we discussed. Now I have very interesting 5 rapid fire questions to you, which my audience has given. The first one is one edtech tool you can't live without.
Great. I think Moodle.
Moodle. Okay, very nice. The second one is online or offline. Which one wins your heart?
Mixed, blended learning. Without
Blended
this,
learning. Very, very interesting answer, sir. The biggest myth about digital education.
digital education is just about putting classroom content online. That is the biggest myth.
Perfect, sir. Now, if you could hire one global education thought leader for your university, Sangam University, who would it?
There are so many global
I know,
leaders
sir.
who are
You would answer
connected
one.
with me. And one I can say that is my mentor who helped me throughout my career. That is Dr. Sanjay Mishra, and who is in working as educational specialist e-learning in Commonwealth of Learning, Vancouver, whose vision of self-organized learning and digital pedagogy aligns deeply with empowering learners in diverse and resource constrained settings. Particularly, that's why this man is the miracle which has been done, and many things he put before the in very remote Commonwealth countries, where he was also instrumental coming out with that device called Aptus. So I believe that he's the man I really love work with him in this university particular.
Okay, perfect, sir. And in future, we would love to hear both of you, Mr. Sir, and you both together your vision. And the last question for you is three words that describe future ready education.
Yeah, it is. All the three words are very quick related to my core of heart. That is flexible, inclusive, and innovative.
That's too deep, sir. I think people must have taken that one. What is exactly those three words? You sum it up, Panigrahi, sir. It was great pleasure interaction with you to learn about your experience, how you see in the future when you talked about this 2037, 2027, all those vision. We couldn't be more excited to have you our guest for this podcast, and hopefully people will be having a lot of questions. I will ask them to reach out to you for more discussion, more insightful idea sharing kind of. Thank you once again, sir. Those are my questions, and it was wonderful talking to you. And we wish you all the best also, and we'll be interacting with you in future as well to learn about your thing.
Thank you very much, Ramesh. I love talking with you and your voice as well. Thanks a lot giving me this opportunity to reach out to your audience as well. Thanks a lot. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hey, guys, stay. That was Professor Manas Ranjan Panigrahi, deep expertise person. Hopefully, you have a. I've enjoyed this entire conversation myself. Learn a lot of things from sir, and hopefully, you guys will be also getting something out of it. Stay tuned for next episode. And as of now, bye from our side. Take care. Bye.